All right, moving on. After wrapping up the G7 summit in France, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has arrived in Paris for the final leg of his Europe visit. In Paris, the Prime Minister will hold further bilateral engagements and he will attend the VivaTech Summit, which is Europe's largest technology and startup event. He's also scheduled to interact with the Indian diaspora at a community program. Prime Minister Modi received a warm welcome from members of the Indian diaspora upon his arrival in Paris. Earlier, the Prime Minister concluded his engagements at the G7 summit. He held a series of bilaterals on the sidelines there over the 2 days of the summit, with the highlight being the first in-person meeting with the US President Donald Trump in over a year.
It really starts with the two of us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
PM Modi told the American President Donald Trump that the safety and security of lakhs of Indian seafarers is of paramount importance to India, highlighting New Delhi's concerns.
एक्सेलेंसी, आप जानते हैं कि मैरीटाइम ट्रेड की दुनिया में भारत के लाखों सीफेरर्स आज दुनिया के अलग अलग समुद्र में अपनी सेवाएं दे रहे हैं, विश्व की प्रगति में बहुत बड़ा योगदान दे रहे हैं और मैं समझता हूं कि उनकी सुरक्षा भी उतना ही महत्वपूर्ण है। एक्सेलेंसी, समझौते के लिए शांति के प्रयासों में आपने भरपूर प्रयास किया है। मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि समझौते में सीफेरर की सुरक्षा भी सुनिश्चित होगी और उसको प्राथमिकता मिलेगी।
It's a rough profession, there's no question about it, and we work together on it. This has been happening throughout time, but we work together on it. Yeah, certainly. We love all of those people. They're great people.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Modi also met with the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on the sidelines of the G7 summit. The two leaders discussed efforts to restore trade ties and exchanged views on the situation in Ukraine. Later, in a post on X, PM Modi reiterated India's support for peace in Ukraine. He wrote, and I quote, "India will always be on the side of peace, placing the values of humanity above all." The Prime Minister also held a bilateral meeting with the President of the European Council, Antonio Costa, and the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen. Both sides stressed on expediting the signing and implementation of the India-EU FTA. Earlier on day one of the summit, Prime Minister Modi held bilateral talks with UK's Prime Minister Keir Starmer, the Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, and the UAE President Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. These meetings focused on advancing strategic trade and defense partnerships. Our assistant editor for Foreign Affairs, Siddhant Sibal, has been closely tracking Prime Minister Modi's visit to France. He sent us a report from Geneva. Take a look.
It's going to be a packed day for the Indian Prime Minister on the last day of his France visit in Paris. He addresses the VivaTech event, which is one of the largest tech events in whole of Europe, and later on addresses the diaspora. Now, diaspora has been a permanent fixture of his foreign visits abroad, and this visit is no different. Now, this is a visit that basically sends a message of how France and India have firmed up their relationship. Earlier, he was in Nice, followed by his visit to G7, and in Nice, we saw essentially the big focus on startups and innovation. At G7, he had several bilateral meetings, including with the Canadian Prime Minister, with the US President, with the Emirati President. But above all, the focus is also on Europe. In fact, his visit to France and Slovakia comes just weeks after he had traveled to Netherlands, Sweden, Norway, and Italy. India and European Union see eye to eye on a lot of things at a time of a lot of geopolitical changes. Siddhant Sibal for WION.